This year isn't about a trophy. This year isn't about a placing. This year is about proving to people that what they saw in 2022 was only a fraction of what I can be. 2024 is about the year of redemption.
Good morning guys, and welcome to the video. In today's video, I thought that I would touch on a little bit about why it is so important that you set your timeline properly when it comes to a competition prep. But before we dive into that a little bit, I think it is time to go ahead and make some coffee because I need a little bit of a caffeine kick. So let's go make some coffee. Okay, we are back and I have my coffee, so now we're going to go ahead and dive into things a little bit here. So what do I mean when I say setting our timeline for prep? Basically what I mean is that how much time do we need to get to stage level leanness to be in the best position possible to peak ourselves for that show. I think a big mistake that a lot of people make, especially first timers, is not giving themselves enough time to truly get stage lean. Most people think that 12 weeks is going to be a good amount of time to get stage lean, but I'm going to tell you that this is probably not going to be enough time. And even if it is, you are going to be absolutely killing yourself for that entire 12 weeks, and you are not going to bring your best package to the stage. Thankfully, in the bodybuilding industry right now, I think a lot of people are leaning more so towards doing longer preps, anywhere from kind of that 16 to 20 to even 24 week preps. And I definitely think that this is a good thing, because not only is this going to give us more time to actually get down to that stage lean levels, but it is going to allow us to have some extra time in there to go ahead and incorporate things such as refeeds, such as diet breaks, to make sure that we are managing that diet fatigue. So that begs the question, how long should your prep be? Now personally, going into my very first competition season, I opted to do a 16-week prep. I thought this would be enough time for me to get down to stage level leanness. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Here is a photo of me at the start of my prep in 2022. I think I was weighing right around 208 pounds in this photo here, and then here is a photo of me at a week out from the first competition, so this would have been 15 weeks into dieting. I think in the second photo here I was sitting right around 172 pounds. So as you can see, in the span of that time I lost about 36 pounds, but I wasn't quite at stage level conditioning yet after losing 36 pounds over the course of 15 weeks. So going into this year's prep, this was something that I knew that I wanted to take some more time with. My initial idea was to take 22 weeks leading into my first show, but as prep went on, I got a lot leaner a lot faster than I thought I would, so that is why I decided to jump in a show a little bit earlier, 4 weeks earlier to be exact, so it will be 18 weeks from the beginning of my prep to my first show, but it will still be 22 weeks from the beginning of my prep to the second show. I wanted to do this to give myself a little bit more time to make sure that I could get down to that conditioning that I didn't achieve in 2022. One of the biggest things that I think you need to realize if you are doing your first bodybuilding prep, or if you're doing any bodybuilding prep, is that you probably have more fat to lose than you think. This year starting out, I thought I started out in a really good spot. I thought I was in a really lean position compared to the end of my bulk in 2023, but I still have lost almost 30 pounds in the span of the last 15 and a half weeks. But doing this has allowed me to reach conditioning levels that I have never reached before, so I'm very excited to see what the end product will look like. So circling back to the question, how long should your prep be? It is going to need to be as long as you think you need to lose the amount of weight that you need to lose. Now I know that this can be very, very hard to gauge, but obviously this is where you're just going to have to be honest with yourself. How much body fat do you think that you are carrying? So I'll go ahead and put up some photos here. This is a photo of me at the beginning of this year's prep. I was sitting right around 206 pounds, and I didn't think that I was in really bad condition for the end of my off season. But here's a photo of me just from earlier this week, sitting right around 176 pounds, and I'm pretty lean in this photo. So that can just kind of give you a little bit of a gauge of how much weight you are going to have to lose to get down to true stage lean levels. If you think that that is going to be 40 pounds, let's just say for example, let's go ahead and divide that and say that we are losing on average of 2 pounds per week. It's a pretty aggressive rate of loss, but it is definitely sustainable over the course of a prep. So let's say that we are losing 2 pounds per week and you have 40 pounds to lose. Well, this is going to bring us to a total of 20 weeks now, but that 20 weeks is going to be pure fat loss, which is what we need to take into consideration. And what a lot of people tend to forget is that 20 weeks is if we are losing 2 pounds every single week. We have to take into consideration that there is going to be some high days in there, so just some refeeds where those aren't necessarily going to be fat loss days. There might be, a diet break or two in there for a week or 2 weeks where we are going ahead and bringing our calories back up to maintenance, where again, we are not going to be losing fat during that diet break. And then finally, we are going to have peak week as well, where most likely you shouldn't really be pushing for fat loss during a peak week, or you're probably not in shape at that point. So if we take a look at those different things, this could add an extra 3 to 6 weeks on top of your prep if you need to lose that 40 pounds. So now this is bringing our grand total for your prep from anywhere to 24 to 26 weeks. So you can see how giving yourself more time to prep is going to be more beneficial in the long run. It not only is going to allow you to have the time that you need to get down to those stage lean levels, but it is also going to make sure that you have the time in your prep to go ahead and utilize some of those other tools, such as taking a little bit of a deload or a diet break, such as utilizing high days and refeeds, so that you are not just hammering yourself into the ground for 20 weeks straight trying to lose 40 pounds. Because all that's going to happen is that you are going to get burnt out, you're going to become fatigued, your body is going to start to look worse, and you are not going to bring your best package to the stage come show day. So when you are deciding when you want to start your bodybuilding prep, when you are deciding what shows you are going to start looking at, take these things into consideration and err on the side of giving yourself more time. Take a look at a couple different shows that are within the span of a month, 2 months, and go ahead and just roughly aim for those shows. And as you start to go throughout your prep, if you find that you are getting leaner a lot faster than you thought you did, then great, you can go ahead and kind of jump in some of those earlier shows like I did this season. If not, then you still have those later shows to go ahead and do to give yourself the time that you need to bring your absolute best to the stage. But that is all I'm going to touch on in regards to setting up your timeline for your prep. If you guys did like this little segment and would like me to go in depth in a full video talking about how long your prep should be and setting up your prep time, then definitely go ahead and let me know in the comments below. But it is time to go hit a pole workout, so let's get it. Alright guys, for today's pole workout, I thought I would do something that I haven't done in a little while. I'm actually going to go ahead and do a bit of a voiceover for this workout, just going ahead kind of breaking down some things, explaining some things that I am focused on when I am performing these exercises throughout the workout. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Kicking things off with the first exercise. The first exercise is going to be a reverse pec deck. I really like putting my rear delt exercise at the beginning of my pull day. The reason that I like going ahead and doing this is because I find that I build up so much fatigue in the rear delts from my other pulling movements that by the end of the workout, I'm really not getting that much out of it if I wait till the end to do my rear delt work. So we're prioritizing the rear delts, putting them first. Something that you want to focus on when doing this exercise is first of all going to be keeping your arm as straight as possible. I think a lot of people make the mistake of really bending their arm, where we want to just think about sweeping our arm outwards. And then the other thing is going to be stopping once that arm is parallel with our body. We don't want to bring our arm into hyperextension and try and bring it way back beyond our body. We just want to go ahead and bring it till that arm is nice and parallel with our body. And this is going to go ahead and really allow us to tax those rear delts and get them as short as possible. So first exercise here is going to be a reverse pec deck. Second exercise here is going to be a supported single arm pull down. Absolutely love this exercise for the lats. Probably one of my favorite exercises for the lats. It really allows us to go ahead and lock in on that one side by doing it single arm. We can go ahead and actually crunch to the side a little bit. One of the functions of the lats is actually going to be lateral flexion of the torso. So you can go ahead and get that lat a little bit shorter by actually going ahead and kind of crunching to the side, as you can see here, and it is going to give you a crazy contraction in the lat. The other thing that we want to focus on is obviously going to be bracing with our non-working arm to make sure that we are not utilizing any torso rotation. Even though I am laterally flexed, I'm still locked in place and I'm not actually rotating my torso to go ahead and pull the weight down. So that's something to think about when you are doing this. Exercise number 3 is going to be a low to high row. This machine's absolutely fantastic because it starts nice and low and then it brings us all the way up to really hit and hammer that upper back, that mid mid to upper back. Something you want to think about when performing an exercise like this is when we are coming forward, we want to almost let our shoulders protract a little bit and come forward to go ahead and really allow us to get that full stretch on that upper back, that coming back and really driving those elbows back and driving them up and out a little bit, as opposed to being lat focused. This is going to be very upper / mid back focused, so we are going to have a little bit more of a flare on our elbows in this exercise. Exercise 4 here is going to be a single arm low row. This is really going to go ahead and finish off those lats, especially the lower lat. This one's going to be very similar to the single arm lat pull down that we did. I'm going to be crunched over to the side a little bit in lateral flexion there to really go ahead and shorten that lat the most that I can. I'm also going to be bracing myself with my non-working arm on my leg, as you can see here. And again, this is really just going to allow me to lock in and make sure that I'm not utilizing any torso rotation and really going ahead and challenging that lat. Especially as we start to get tired, we're going to want to go ahead and rotate our torso to make sure that we are finishing that exercise, but we want to make sure that we are staying locked in and driving that elbow down into our hip. Our fifth and final back exercise is going to be a wide grip lat pull down. Now, my main function with this exercise is not to actually challenge the lats. I go ahead and I purposefully lean backwards to go ahead and use this almost like an upper back pull down. The wide grip is really going to allow us to flare our elbows, and it's going to allow us to hit a lot more of that upper back. People think this is a lat movement. It's really not, because our elbows are flared so much. So I lean back a little bit and I'm focusing on hitting all of that mid and upper back again. I'm thinking about the upper traps, I'm thinking about the rear delts, the rhomboids. So I'm just thinking about rowing my elbows down and back with the flared elbows. I'm not thinking about keeping them tucked or anything like that, because that's not the purpose with this exercise. I'm thinking about actually targeting and hitting that upper back, that upper / mid back. Moving into our first bicep exercise. First bicep exercise here is going to be a bicep isolation machine. I really like going ahead and challenging the short range of the biceps first before going ahead and challenging the lengthened range, because obviously we know that as we go throughout a workout, our ability to get that muscle short is going to diminish as we fatigue. So I am going to go ahead and challenge that short range of the bicep first. This is a really great exercise to do this. As you can see, I'm not really getting a full stretch at the bottom. I'm still getting a good stretch, but not a full and complete stretch, but I'm getting a really great contraction with this one, and it allows me to get that bicep fully shortened. So I'm just thinking about using a nice controlled tempo, slight pause at the bottom, slight pause at the top in that shortened range, and really going ahead and frying those biceps. And then our second exercise for the biceps and our final exercise of the workout is going to be a step forward cable curl. Really love this variation, especially for working those biceps in the lengthened range, because our shoulders and our elbows are going to be slightly behind us. This is going to allow us to fully lengthen those biceps, which we know is going to be a great way to provide optimal muscle stimulus, is going to be by challenging that muscle in its lengthened range. So this is really going to allow us to get a huge stretch on those biceps at the end. So make sure that you are pausing at the end there, getting a good stretch in the bicep, and then curling forward. This one's definitely going to hurt, especially after doing the high curl that we just did, but it's very important that we go ahead and we challenge that lengthened position of the muscle. But that is pretty much going to wrap up this voiceover for that pull workout. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you enjoyed this style of content and you would like me to do more voiceovers moving forward in the future, then definitely go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I'm always more than happy to hear your guys' feedback. If you like me talking during the workout in the gym, if you like me doing voiceovers, definitely go ahead and let me know. But guys, that is going to do it for today's video. As always, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video. I would greatly appreciate it. As well, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you are new around here, so that you don't miss out on any future content. There's going to be a lot of exciting content coming in the coming weeks here, because we are 2.5 weeks out from the first show of the season. So lots of show day content coming soon, lots of peak week content coming soon. So definitely make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on any of that. Other than that, guys, I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.